You're watching Mirror Readings. I'm Molly, and today we're talking about gene key number 8. Gene key 8 has the shadow of mediocrity, the gift of style, and the Siddhi of exquisiteness. Mediocrity is an interesting shadow. It's very primal. When we're babies, we have to fit into our family to survive. There's a certain innate program that we come in with genetically to conform in order to fit into a family system so that we'll be taken care of when we're helpless infants. This ultimately leads to a compromising of the self that gets worse and worse as we get older. Mediocrity has two primary negative effects. Number one, it keeps us from thinking outside the box. We literally cannot think for ourselves if we're totally caught up in worrying about what other people think, and we're compromising ourselves without even realizing it. A lot of these shadow patterns take place at the subconscious level, so a big part of our work within the gene keys is making the unconscious conscious. So the second negative effect is that it takes us out of step with evolution. Evolution is change. And mediocrity will have us clinging to what's known. So people, ideas, societal structures, what's already familiar, playing that on repeat is what keeps us in mediocrity. And we have to be aware of how certain features of society, like I'm just going to use TV, film, content as an example, keep us in this shadow state. When we see other people on screens living mythical, interesting lives, it can actually keep us sidelined because rather than engaging in our impulse to be mythical, interesting beings, we see ourselves as separate from that. And we kind of get our existential jollies consuming content of other people being heroes instead of embracing our own hero's journey. This shadow will cut us off from our imagination because we literally can't even imagine life beyond prescribed societal norms, structures, concepts. And it takes great courage to confront this shadow because we go against that primal urge that we come in with to conform. And it's an urge that keeps us alive when we're babies, but it kills our spirit as adults. In a repressed state, this shadow of mediocrity will make us clingy, just clinging to whatever is old and familiar. And in a reactive state, it makes us inauthentic. And people in the reactive side of this shadow can't stay in close, intimate relationships because ultimately their authenticity is exposed and they usually run. Enter the gift of style. Honestly, my favorite of all the gifts. It's the cutting edge of creation itself, and it can only come from a natural flowering of our individuality. When we embody this gift, we're submitting to some kind of higher level creative process that wants to work through us. We have to get to know ourselves to access this gift, which can take time. But the fastest way to get to know ourselves is to follow our highest excitement and do it to the fullest extent for as long as we can, for as long as that excitement feels exciting to us. Our highest excitement is more powerful than the fear of not fitting in. And once we're no longer afraid of being different, this whole other dimension of the human experience unlocks. All of our creativity becomes unblocked, and we just become an agent of creation. Our individuality will express itself naturally, and it becomes a form of rebellion against mediocrity. Forget about fitting in. Freedom of self-expression is totally contagious, and the more outrageously ourselves we become, the more our individual style expresses, and the more we give people around us permission to be themselves, and then we'll all be happier. The true nature of consciousness is inherently a bit wild, and the Siddhi of exquisiteness embraces that wildness. When we embody this Siddhi, we become a clear channel for creation. To embody exquisiteness is to see consciousness behind every individual expression. Exquisiteness can peer behind the veils that lots of beings try to hide behind and see that it's all consciousness, it's all love, we're all the same. We're all just a bunch of meat puppets being animated by the one life force, just to put it crudely. So to embody exquisiteness is to live by example. It's to be devoted to the exquisite mystery of life. It's to be in step with change and honoring the beauty of all of life, no matter what expression it takes, even mediocrity. Exquisiteness is a state of consciousness that dismantles everything that we're told life should be. How we should behave, how we should think, what we should do. It takes all of that apart and just sees love behind everything. How are you embodying your personal style today? I'm wearing my snake ring because it's the year of the snake and it's Gene Key 8. So I had to bring the looks. That's it for this Gene Key. You're watching Mirror Readings. I'm Molly. And if you'd like to get a reading with me, please visit mirrorreadings.com to see all my offerings. And email me mirrorreadings@gmail.com to set up an appointment. All subscribers to this channel get 15% off, and we'll see you next time.